What is up, y'all? All right, so it is March 2021. I get my vaccine. This Monday, the first vaccine. But that's an aside. Of course, what I'm here to do for you today is to bring you some psycho-spiritual shit to digest. And today we are going to be talking about some of the mental illness surrounding the attitude and the behaviors that we exhibit when we engage our sexuality, in America in particular. Okay. So this first thing, it starts with the dissociation. So instead of being in your second chakra all the time, and being in all chakras at all times, and having all your chakras open at all times, you shrink and collapse the second chakra. You can even make it void-like, like a little black hole. Same thing with the first chakra. You can make it void-like, or you can shrink it, constrict it. Fuck it up, man. You don't want to be doing that. Okay. So that's the dissociation. Like your consciousness, which is normally balanced, like amongst all states of consciousness, all concerns of consciousness, like it should be. Like, it just constricts around sexuality, and like, it's no longer your focus. It's no longer your domain. It's actually excluded from the domain of your consciousness. And when that happens, that's called dissociation. When you dissociate from a particular way of being, a particular emotion, a true dissociation. If you go DSM-4 or DSM-5, that's like coming out of your head, and I don't even know, can't even explain it spiritually. True dissociation is the persona disappears and is replaced by an unconscious internal object, supposedly, or an archetype, and then that is in control, man, and the persona just wakes up in a new place, and it's like, what the fuck happened in the last 3 or 4 hours? It can be the last 3 or 4 days. You wake up in a different state, not know what the fuck had happened. That's a true dissociation. But we're talking about a mild form of dissociation. But it is a dissociation, a form of dissociation, nonetheless. So this begs the belief. You become sexually unaware, and it begs this belief that I am hypersexual and I am asexual. Okay? So I'm either hypersexual, and I'm totally in my second chakra, right? Having sex with my wife, right? Trying to make a kid, right? Or I'm asexual, or I'm out in the world, amongst friends, amongst acquaintances, and amongst strangers, right? But that's not right, I'm telling you. It's just not right. It's a delusion. And delusions aren't good, guys. You're distorting reality, right? So it's a major, if you fall into that trap, you're actually distorting reality in a pretty significant way, and major way. And that's a bad coping mechanism. It's a bad defense mechanism. It's not a coping mechanism. It's a defense mechanism, and it's a bad one, man. One of the more severe defense mechanisms. Because defense mechanisms are rated, in fact, by the degree to which they distort reality. And the more you distort reality, the worse off you are, man. And you get rated on a scale from 0 to 100, too. Moving on. The second delusion, or complication, I should say, that arises when you consider yourself asexual is that it begets the delusion that this other person, what a fucking sexy other, Oh, that Marilyn Monroe's a goddess, man. All that shit, fuck that. You should be aware that you're God, a sex god, at all times. And she's a sex goddess, certainly, at all times. But you're deluded thinking you're asexual when you're not. And therefore it begs this polar dynamism in the mind and in reality, man. That fucks you up. So don't do that. It is, in fact, a neurosis, right? And then you develop this bifurcate approach to sexuality because you're neurotic, in which you both approach your sexuality and simultaneously avoid your sexuality at the same time. That's the quality of all neuroses. You're approaching the issue and avoiding the issue simultaneously. So you're sexualizing and idealizing, pedestalizing Marilyn Monroe, right? And then, so you are approaching your own sexuality by, like, you know, getting turned on by this goddess, right? But you're simultaneously walking away from it and avoiding it because that's your game plan, man. When you're out in the world, amongst strangers, amongst friends, and amongst peers, you're asexual. Okay. And so you're avoiding your sexuality at the same time as approaching it. It's a neurotic game, dude. Don't play it. You're right. The third and final consideration, maybe, on having a repressed sexuality and how that affects your mental health is that once your sexuality is repressed and unconscious, you actually become like, you're easily manipulated. Okay? So, when you're repressed and unconscious and you're walking through the world thinking, I'm asexual, right? I can just hang a carrot out in front of you. And in the unconscious and subconscious mind. And thus are going to want this sex carrot, right? And so your behavior is going to be reflective of unconscious and subconscious reflection, man. Again, a fucked up thing you don't want to be involved in. Remain 100% conscious at all times. And yeah, so like commercials, you'll be more influenced by commercials, you know, if you fucking feel that you're this asexual being instead of owning up to your own sexual godness on a moment-to-moment basis, right? I chill. I see a sexy woman on TV. I'm like, fuck, you know. And, you know, so I'll message them, right? Instant message them. They check out my channel, right? Check out my YouTube channel. And I want this from you. Please. That's how you approach a fucking sexy woman, dude. I don't know what you guys are all thinking. So that's the 3 most serious considerations with regarding to repressing your sexuality. Not a healthy thing to do. I guess that's all I really want to convey to you guys. Peace be with you. Please mind my book. Bye for now.